my understanding, whenever you go into the prison system, there'll be a risk assessment conducted on you. They'll ask you your fears, your thoughts, your almost not quite your wishes, but where you'd like to be. If you'd like to be considered to be put into almost like segregation, so away from the general population of the prison. So he'll have an input on that and have a view. The prison will then look at the individual themselves, links they've got with the outside world, etc., who they like to be at risk of. And they'll make an informed decision as to whereabouts they can locate him in whichever prison he goes to. And each time if he moves, that process will be, my understanding is that process will be repeated. So if he moves to, say, like an open prison or a different type of prison, they'll review his risk assessment, where they're going to locate him in the prison, what sort of wing or population within the prison he's going to be within, and what the risk factor is to him while he's in prison. He's a fairly educated man. He knows his own mind. He knows his rights and what he's allowed to do. He also knows the risk that he will be under within a prison environment. So I think he'll be fully aware of the environment he's going into, the types of risks and the types of individuals he could be at risk from, even within the prison population. My understanding and experience of it is that they don't always like people with almost like a famous persona about them as well. I think, and the difficulty you got with it within the prison environment is that there are all sorts of different characters in there for all sorts of different offences, people with their own agenda or a similar agenda to him, or completely opposite beliefs, issues than he's got. So he'll be conscious of that. Could he become a target? I think the prison authorities will be well aware of him, his background, what he said, what he's been in prison for, contempt of court, and why he was put in prison because of that whole incident and the experiences, etc. So I think they'll be conscious of who they've got and where they can locate him and the risks faced to him while he's within the prison population. He has an air of confidence about him. That might not go down that well with some people within the prison, but also it will go down well with others. So I think he's going to fall between the two. I think it will be a challenge for the prison authorities to secure and safeguard him and make sure that the risks are reduced as much as they possibly can be within that environment. But I think is he at risk from some people? Possibly. I think just because of who he is and the things he said and the following he has, he's automatically a potential target or risk to various groups and within various prison locations. I think if he goes into solitary confinement or just sits, they keep him in a cell on his own, that's a decision for that prison, that governor, those authorities to look at it, balance the risk assessment, balance the safeguard measures they can put in place, speak to him as an individual. Does he want that? Does he need that? Is it necessary for them and or him? So I think that's a balanced decision that has to be made by the prison governor wherever he's located.